The symbol of Saturn. The symbol shows the cross of manifestation above the crescent, the moon or personality held down by the cross. The only portion of ourselves that can be crucified is the dark self, the personality. Saturn cannot touch you, only the mask which you wear. All restraints and limitations imposed by Saturn are really in the individual himself. The world of appearance is a mirror in which we see reflected our own nature. Saturn is the oldest of the gods, and to this angel was given the rulership of the earth, the personality. Saturn represents the first law of manifestation, the law of limitation. Saturn focalizes or concentrates energy. Saturn is called Father Time and the Reaper, for time brings all manifestation to an end. It is also called the planet of necessity, for it demands acceptance of the material world as the temporary proving ground for the spirit. Wherever Saturn is placed by house or sign, the keynote is conservation. Saturn is not the creator of our difficulties or successes. But as each individual sets the creative processes in motion, Saturn relentlessly brings back to the individual his own creation. Saturn shows the weaknesses and lacks in the character so they can be changed into strengths. In the birth chart, Saturn is the ruler of the ego, for it collects and retains the impressions made upon the consciousness through experience. It gathers the fruit of every experience and builds it into soul power. Saturn builds in time for eternity. In understanding the mission of Saturn lies the solution to the mystery of life. Saturn builds walls around the self until it is strong enough to stand without them. It is a constricting, contracting influence until the soul is strong enough to break down the selfishness and separateness in him and go free. Saturn rules the signs Capricorn and Aquarius, signs that are not concerned with generation and the vital animal forces. Capricorn rules the knees and Aquarius rules the ankles, the two parts that enable the body to bend and to move forward. Capricorn rules the bony structure, the skeleton on which all the rest of the body is suspended. Rigidity and flexibility are ruled by Saturn. Kneeling, the power to bend, is a sign of humility, reverence, and obedience, and these qualities are the antithesis of the Martian spirit of aggressiveness and combativeness. The movement of the joints and walking enables the person to move forward. Man's upright position is possible through the scaffold, the skeleton, that enables him to stand upright. In the ancient mysteries, Saturn, or Satan, was represented as the tester and tried the person's endurance until he grew strong enough as a soul to withstand the demands of the personality. Saturn's job is to destroy the old, the outworn forms in order to build a better structure on a higher level. In Hindu astrology, Saturn is related to the god Shiva, the destroyer. Saturn's mission is to destroy all that is outgrown in the personality. The destroyers have to break down the past before the builders can come. In this era of time, it helps to remember that the old age of Pisces is outmoded and outgrown, and Saturn is destroying the old forms in order that new energy through Aquarius can come in. Astrology gives the clue as to what is happening in the world of today. Saturn does not bind forever due to its being the law of limitation. It builds the circle that holds us in until we are strong enough to break the wheel and go free. Saturn is the bridge between the animal self and the real self, the spirit. Saturn is called the Lord of Karma, and inasmuch as it shows the area, house, and qualities, signs, and aspects which we need to change and redeem. The Hindus speak of Dharma as one's duty of responsibility in life. That is what Saturn represents in the birth chart. It indicates where our responsibilities lie and what our life's lessons must be. Saturn is the individual's approach to life, where he has to accept the responsibility of making his own world according to the conditions that Saturn defines. Saturn indicates the places where he must conform and accept if he would know security within and without. Where Saturn begins by house in the chart is where the individual must begin. Where Saturn operates by transit is where, by necessity, the individual must submit to tests and trials. The house in which Saturn is placed at birth is where the individual must start his structure of security, responsibility, and self-sufficiency. Sign shows the stability of the ego, its power to resist pressure from without. In a cardinal sign, Saturn shows the power to change through becoming immersed in activity. In a mutable sign, Saturn's power to be adaptable helps, but too often there is too much indecisiveness and not enough strength to overcome conditions. Saturn is directly concerned with character building and is one of the greatest angels in the universe. This angel was given the hardest job of all, to test and try man's soul until he learned to break his self-imposed bonds and go free. When man uses the Saturn force negatively, he is filled with selfishness and fear. He who is selfish must know fear. These are the Siamese twins of consciousness. One cannot live without the other. Love that asks nothing but to give is the antidote for an afflicted Saturn. In a personal chart, Saturn represents time, safety urges, discipline, principle of contraction and crystallization, organization, ambition, limitation and delay, old age, wisdom gained through experience, self-preservation, rules bones, skin, and teeth in the physical body, rules Capricorn and the 10th house in its feminine aspect, and Aquarius in the 11th house in its positive expression.